Tiananmen Square protests. 25 years later, on June 4, 1989, the Chinese military crushed a rebellion started by students who protested at Beijing's Tiananmen Square. Troops with heavy weapons and tanks advanced on the square. Soldiers fired on unarmed protesters. According to the Chinese authorities, 400 people were killed in the Tiananmen crackdown, although estimates go into the thousands. Protesters demanded the freedom of press and speech as well as more rights for workers. The Tiananmen Square protests were also spurred by economic problems. China was suffering from a high inflation rate and free market. Reforms put more money into the hands of high officials and wealthy Chinese instead of ordinary people. Corruption was widespread. The protests started in April when a liberal politician had died. They continued to grow throughout May. Students and other opponents of the government even staged hunger strikes. Protests also spread to 80 other cities in China. In May, the Chinese government declared a state of martial law. The authorities said that the protests were organized to bring down the Chinese government. In the first days of June, more and more protesters got together at Tiananmen Square, the heart of the Chinese capital. Soon enough there were over 1 million people. On June 4th, the army started using violence against the angry protesters. After the crackdown, the government